T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Well, the long wait is over. NFL will begin this week, but right now we got your Sport Weasels. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
That's right. Welcome to Sports and Other Stuff, your NFL headquarters and other things as well. Here's what we have for you this week. We're so glad you're here. The prediction machine is back on tonight for the NFC South. Deshaun Watson gets his suspension, and happy birthday to George Jetson. In lighter news, we'll talk about that too. So here we go. But let's kick it off. We're just weeks away. Lug says they're starting this week. Yes, preseason from the first kick in just a few weeks. Tonight we talk about the NFC South. Last year it went like this. Bucks were 13-4. The Saints were way behind at 9-8. Then the lowly Falcons 7-10, and somebody has to bring up the rear, and that was the Panthers last year at 5-12. What happens this year? Well, that's where we come in and earn our pay. And that man there, that man, Lugs, he has all the answers. What is going to happen this year? Lugs, take it away. You're a Panther man. You're a Panther guy.
Well, I would have to say,
aren't you?
I would have to say this is probably the weakest division in pro football. It could be argued that the East, NFC East, but anyhow, I've got by default the Tampa Bay Buccaneers topping this group.
Shock.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, the big questions, is it Brady's last season? What's Bruce Arians' role? How will Todd Bowles do as a head coach? Lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Brady will have some folks to throw to. He won't have our boy Gronk anymore.
As far as we know.
Yeah, true enough. But anyhow, their defense is suspect to me. But all in all, after it's all said and done, I've got them at the top at 12-5.
All right, I like it. T-Dog, you got a different viewpoint? You got the Panthers winning this thing, or what?
You know what? I debated it, but then I very quickly
rolled the dice.
I looked at the personnel. I looked at the coaching staff, and I go, no effing way. So I am also going with the Buccaneers. After his retirement vacation, Brady is returning to probably the team that's in the driver's seat to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. When you really kind of look at it, the amount of weapons that they have now, especially if Julio Jones can turn back the clock. I don't know if he can do it every game, but with how much depth they have at wide receiver, they don't need him to be in every game. Julio from a few years past. I mean, the defense still has Vita Vea, who can crush the pocket. They have Devin White at linebacker flying around, hitting everything like a fighter jet. And they got Antonio Winfield in the back being a dependable last line of defense. Clearly, their strength is Tom Brady, but also besides Tom Brady, the wide receivers. I mean, Mike Evans has been dominant outside the hash marks. He's a red zone, one of the premier red zone threats. He can get double-digit touchdowns on the regular. The crazy thing is Chris Godwin avoided the pup, so it looks like he might be able to start this year. So having Chris Godwin from the slot be, Tom Brady's most talented safety blanket from the slot that he's ever had. That's no disrespect to Welker or Julian Edelman or Deion Branch, but I'd say Chris Godwin is the most talented of those. And then free agent Russell Gage, one of the murmurs of training camp, the wide receiver from Atlanta last year, none of the DBs can stop him. So this is their 3rd/4th wide receiver. I don't know who is third, either him or Julio, but this is just an embarrassment of riches. The one concern for them possibly going to the Super Bowl, I look at their O-line. They lost Al Marpet to retirement. Alex Kappa went to the Bengals. But the biggest blow was Ryan Jensen, their center. he got injured in training camp. He possibly is going to miss the whole season. He was a huge part of their success last year. So like their tackles are good, Wirfs and Smith, but the interior of their line is very suspect. That being said, I have them going 14-3, winning the division.
14-3. Lugs, who did that song, Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard?
Oh, that's Paul Simon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought so. Now, who did Julio? Da-da-da. Oh, that was Susudio. That was...
Oh.
Sorry, my bad on that. Okay, so we got the Bucks on a runaway, I guess.
Yeah.
Runaway Sue. Who do you like next there, Lugs? What are you thinking on this thing here?
Well, I'm going with the Saints, even though
Whoa.
I'm not real high on Jameis Winston. They don't have Sean Payton anymore, and there's questions about Alvin Kamara as a running back. But at least Jameis will have some folks to throw to: Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. That is, if Michael Thomas can stay on the field. I think their defense is their best asset at this point. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they seem to have the Bucks number, so they probably will one out of two with the Bucks or whatever. But I've got the New Orleans Saints in the second position with 10-7.
10-7 for the Saints from the Sin City of New Orleans. T-Dog.
Wow, for the way he built them up early on, I thought I thought it was going to be 6-11, but I mean, man, to be 10-7. I mean, that's
a gift, isn't it?
Yeah,
for the Jameis Bowl. Yeah,
particularly how he feels about Winston, because obviously as a player, I like Winston probably easily the best of us. I mean, again, because if you go back to last year, in the 7 games he played, he threw 14 touchdowns. He only had 3 interceptions. Now the con is he lost Sean Payton, one of the greatest offensive play callers in modern football. And their O-line has deteriorated. The pro is, you look at his wide receivers. He didn't have Mike Thomas last year. Mike Thomas is back. He's practicing. So, if he's healthy, that's a huge cue. And in addition, they got Chris Olave. And again, I don't know if Chris Olave is ever going to be a superstar. I think he's going to be a very good starter for 10 plus years. And he might reach superstar status. I don't think he'll be great out the box. He'll probably get 1,000 yards receiving as a rookie. And then they signed free agent Jarvis Landry. Now, Jarvis Landry, I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but again, you're asking Jarvis Landry to act as a second or third wide receiver. I mean, that's a pretty good position to be in. I look at their defense too. It's so full of talent with Demario Davis at linebacker, Marshawn Lattimore at corner, and they have Tyrann Mathieu. But the real strength of this team is their defensive line. Cam Jordan. The craziest thing, guys, we never talk about Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, if you look at his numbers, he's quietly possibly a Hall of Famer. It's really crazy. He has over 100 sacks for his career, and he still has, I think, some gas left in the tank. Marcus Davenport, who they traded up for a few years ago, he still hasn't come to where they wanted, but still he had 9 sacks last year. And Onyemata and Tuttle are just two-legged roadblocks that just clog up the middle of the field. So it's just hard to do anything on them. But then you talk about their other line, offensive line. They lost Armstead to the Dolphins in free agency. They are going to have to replace him with Trevor Penning, who they drafted, who's a raw prospect out of a lower level. And you're like, oh, you're just going to be the left tackle at the NFL level. It's like, well, good luck to that really working out. I mean, Andre Pete is good, but he has durability issues. Cesar Ruiz has yet to become the starter they envisioned. Eric McCoy is good, and Ryan Ramczyk, their tackle on the right side, are good. But again, that's 2 out of the 5. So that's where I worry about him. And then again, Lugs pointed out, Alvin Kamara is a unique talent at running back, and one of the few guys who got a second contract who's actually living up to that second contract with his unique abilities, unlike Christian McCaffrey with his durability issues. That being said, if this battery if he is suspended because of his battery issue, that'll be a huge blow to them. Even with that being said, I'm having him play all the games. I still think they only go 8-9.
8-9. All right. Hey, Lugs, a follow-up question here. You said Jameis did his best work last year by throwing passes to the other team. Do you still stick by that?
Not last year, but throughout his career, he's been really generous, let us say.
With the giveaways, he's like Santa Claus. He's a big Santa Claus guy.
He has, man.
And follow up, fellas, I forgot the honey badger is now a saint. How about that? Yeah. We won't see him in Kansas City in those national games too much now.
The last thing I'll say on the Saints is very bizarre. Again, I like a lot of the talent on their team. And even though I like Winston, I find the way they went about how many draft picks they gave up for Chris Olave, bringing on the contract for Landry and Tyrann Mathieu. They believe they are a Super Bowl contender. I do not believe that. Wow. But
all right, so you guys agree on 1 and 2. Lugs, who do you like in the 3-post in the NFC South?
Well, I'm going to go with the old Panthers there. Although I would say head coach Matt Rule, he better do it this time around. I would say he should wear his asbestos underwear there because it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot. But they've got real at quarterback. You got your room buster there with Baker Mayfield. I would say he's, that much better than Sam Darnold. And then you got Matt Corral, the rookie. I just don't see these boys, especially if Christian McCaffrey doesn't play this year. They're going to be tough. I'm giving them a 7-10 record.
7-10 for the Panthers and Matt Rule's new underwear setup. Okay. T-Dog, how do you see it?
I got to say, as much as I killed Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know, he's not even part of this. I champion Matt Rule, and I still am buying stock in Matt Rule. I am investing it in college in the future because I don't see him holding on to this job.
But you, sir, you are no Matt Rule, sir.
No, I am. I still believe him as a coach. I just think the NFL level, for whatever reason, it's just not working out. Did he maybe go to the wrong spot? Maybe. To be fair, I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I was probably definitely wrong on him. That being said, I just look at, how they've tried to fix quarterback, and you got to respect them for, getting Teddy Bridgewater. That didn't work out. They traded for Sam Darnold. That didn't work out. They trade for Baker Mayfield, who is a good quarterback. And luckily they got a situation where they got him for nothing when you really think about it. I still see that as their weakness at quarterback. Baker, if he's healed and motivated, and I think he does feed a lot on negative press, I think he'll play well. But here's the thing. He played good. I don't think he played great with the Browns. And I think Kevin Stefanski is an excellent coach. I think Ben McAdoo, who is their offensive coordinator, I think he's had some moments, but I don't think he's as good as Stefanski. Then you look at the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns, is one of the best offensive lines. Obviously, huge drop-off to that of the Carolina Panthers. They have only 2 offensive linemen, and Ike Ekwonu, their rookie, who's probably going to be good. And then Taylor Moton, their other right tackle. But the rest of the line is a mess. And Christian McCaffrey's only played 6 games these last 2 years. Now, obviously, if he stays healthy, that is a huge win for him just because, again, like Alvin Kamara, he's such a mismatch. He's a good runner. He's not as good a runner as Alvin Kamara. But like Alvin Kamara, maybe he's better at this than Alvin Kamara. Maybe because of his father. He is a great receiver. He can run routes. So he is a huge mismatch for them that they did not have for most of last year. That being said, I look at their D-line. Their D-line's good with Brian Burns. He makes a living in the backfield. They brought in a free agent, Matt Ioannidis, and Derek Brown from Auburn, who they drafted a few years ago. That's just 2